Mainline, still on the Manchester branch part of it. And yes, today we have come back for a revisit to this station, as I did want to come back here for another revisit. But yes, we are back here at Heaton Chapel, which is on the West Coast Main Line, on the Manchester branch part of it. The train has just departed with 15224 and 156441. This brought me in with the 1400 Northern service to Buxton from Manchester Piccadilly. This did actually bring me in from Levenshulme, as I was just on the back of filming at Levenshulme. And we got silly announcements going off, but yes. Them two 150s and 156s did bring me in from Levenshulme, which is just down the road, as I was just on the back of filming at Levenshulme. But yes, we are going to have another good revisit here at Heaton Chapel, as I've always thought this was a good station, a really good one. But yes, let's see what sort of action we shall get here at Heaton Chapel. I shall see us all when the next train comes, everybody. Now passing through is going to be a Transport for Wales Class 197, which is 1402, Transport for Wales service to Manchester Piccadilly from Pembroke Dock. Anyways, 197008 is on this. 197008 passes through now with the 1402 Transport for Wales service to Manchester Piccadilly from Pembroke Dock. And as that heads to its next and final stop of Manchester Piccadilly, we shall see what else, or what other action we shall get here at Heaton Chapel. Now arriving in is going to be the 1405 Northern service to Manchester Piccadilly from Hazel Grove, with a double Northern 156 this time. Anyways, 156426 is at the front. And then I will catch the rear set of this double Northern 156 when this departs. Now departing is going to be the 1405 Northern service to Manchester Piccadilly from Hazel Grove, with 156426 at the front of this double Northern 156. West Coast service to London Euston from Manchester Piccadilly, which gave me a scare. 39103 was on that. 156425 is of the rear of the 156. And as those two trains head to their destinations with a 390 jump scaring me, I shall see us all when the next train comes here at Heaton Chapel, everybody. Now passing through is going to be a cross-country Voyager, which is forming a 1507 cross-country service to Bournemouth from Manchester Piccadilly. Was on this cross-country Voyager, which is forming a 1507 cross-country service to Bournemouth from Manchester Piccadilly with a 221 of 221121. And as that heads to its next stop of Stockport, I shall see us all when the next train comes here at Heaton Chapel, everybody. Now passing through is going to be another Avanti West Coast Class 390 Pendolino, which is forming the 1415 Avanti West Coast service to Manchester Piccadilly from London Euston, and it will not give me a jump scare this time. Anyways, 390-104 passes through very slowly. Crawls through Heaton Chapel on the fast lines, which is forming the 1415 Avanti West Coast service to Manchester Piccadilly from London Euston. And as that heads up to Manchester, I shall see us all what happens next. Now arriving in is going to be a Northern Class 331. This is forming the 1415 Northern service to Crewe from Manchester Piccadilly, and then also now passing through on the slow lines is going to be a Northern Class 150, which is forming the 1416 Northern service to Manchester Piccadilly from Chester. 151-14 is at the front, and 151-27 is at the rear, with the 1416 Northern service to Manchester Piccadilly from Chester, and then 331-107 now arrives in with the 1415 Northern service to Crewe from Manchester Piccadilly. And as this now arrives in, I shall see us all when this Northern 331 departs. Now departing is going to be the 1415 Northern service to Crewe from Manchester Piccadilly with 331-107. Now departs with the 1415 Northern service to Crewe from Manchester Piccadilly with a Northern Class 331, and as that to his next stop of Stockport. I shall see us all when the next train comes here at Heaton Chapel, everybody. Now passing through is going to be another Avanti West Coast Class 390 Pendolino, which is forming the 1419 Avanti West Coast service to London Euston from Manchester Piccadilly. Nice turn, 390-001. 390-001 passes through with a nice tone, with the 1419 Avanti West Coast service to London Euston from Manchester Piccadilly. And as this now passes through, let's see what other action we shall get here at Heaton Chapel. Now passing through is going to be another Avanti West Coast Class 390 Pendolino, which is forming the 1423 Avanti West Coast service to Manchester Piccadilly from London Euston. West Coast service to Manchester Piccadilly from London Euston. And as that to his next and final stop of Manchester Piccadilly, I shall see us all when the next train comes here at Heaton Chapel, everybody. Now passing through is going to be the delayed 1419 Transpennine Express service to Cleethorpes from Liverpool Lime Street with a Class 185. numbers on them 185s, but this was formerly the late 1419 Transpennine Express service to Cleethorpes from Liverpool Lime Street. I couldn't catch the numbers on that, but as that heads to its next stop of Stockport, with a double class 185, I shall see us all when the next train comes here at Heaton Chapel. Now arriving in is going to be the 14:30 Northern service to Manchester Piccadilly from Crewe, with a Northern class 323 this time. This is forming the 14:30 Northern service to Manchester Piccadilly from Crewe. So then 323231 is on this Northern class 323. And then also now arriving in is 156406 and 15115. This Northern 156 and 150 now arrives in with the 14:30 Northern service to Hazel Grove from Manchester Piccadilly, and I shall see us all which train departs first. Now departing is going to be the 14:30 Northern service to Hazel Grove at 156406 and 15115. And also now departing is 323231 with the 14:30 Northern service to Manchester Piccadilly from Crewe, 323231. And then that Northern 156 and 150 departs with the 14:30 Northern service to Hazel Grove, 156406 and 15115. And as those two trains heads off, I shall see all what happens next. Now passing through is going to be another cross-country Voyager with the 14:31 cross-country service to Bristol Temple Meads. 221107, ex-Avanti West Coast as well, passes through now with the 14:31 cross-country service to Bristol Temple Meads from Manchester Piccadilly. As that heads to its next stop of Stockport, I shall see us all when the next train comes here at Heaton Chapel. Now passing through is going to be an East Midlands Railway Class 158, which is formerly 14:35 East Midlands Railway service to Liverpool Lime Street from Norwich with a double class 158. So then 158856 is at the front, and the newly refurbished 158847 is at the rear with a brand new livery and brand new interior. But as this double East Midlands Railway 158 heads off now to Liverpool Lime Street and its next stop of Manchester Piccadilly, I shall see us all what happens next. Now passing through is going to be another Transport for Wales Class 197, which is formerly 14:37 Transport for Wales service to Pembroke Dock from Manchester Piccadilly. Anyways, 197008 with a nice tone passes through now with the 14:37 Transport for Wales service to Pembroke Dock from Manchester Piccadilly with 197008, and as that heads off now to its next stop of Stockport, I shall see us all what happens next here at Heaton Chapel with the rain starting. Yay! Now arriving in is going to be another Northern 150 and 156. This now arrives in with the 14:40 Northern service to Manchester Piccadilly from Buxton. So then, oh, it's 150 at the front. Of course it is. And then I will catch the 156 set of this when this departs. And also now passing through is going to be an Avanti West Coast Class 390 Pendolino with the 1440 Avanti West Coast service to London Euston from Manchester Piccadilly. Anyways, 39104. Now passes through with the 1440 Avanti West Coast service to to London Euston from Manchester Piccadilly. And as that heads off, now departing is going to be 150 with the 1440 Northern service to Manchester Piccadilly from Buxton, and then 156417 is at the rear. I'm messing up my words again. Messing up my words here. This Northern 150 and 156 is forming the 1440 Northern service to Manchester Piccadilly from Buxton. As that heads off now, I shall see us all when the next train comes here at Heaton Chapel. Now passing through is going to be a Northern Class 323, which is forming the 1443 Northern service to Manchester Piccadilly from Stoke-on-Trent, which is passing through on the slow lines. Nice two-tone. Anyways, 323 212 does the job. Passes through now with the 1443 Northern service to Manchester Piccadilly from Stoke-on-Trent with a nice two-tone off the driver. And as that Northern 323 heads to its next and final stop at Manchester Piccadilly, I shall see us all what happens next. Now passing through is going to be a cross-country Voyager with the 1444 cross-country service to Manchester Piccadilly from Bristol Temple Meads. This is going to be a doubled up Voyager this time. Anyways, 220016 is at the front. And 221126 comes up goods on the rear. This 9-car Voyager heads off now with the 1444 cross-country service to Manchester Piccadilly from Bristol Temple Meads with a 220 and a 221. And as that heads off to Manchester Piccadilly, I shall see us all when the next train comes. Now arriving in is going to be the 1447 Northern service to Alderley Edge from Manchester Piccadilly with another Northern Class 331. Anyways, what do we have on here? 331108. And as this Northern 331 now arrives in, I shall see us all when this departs. Now departing is going to be the 1447 Northern service to Alderley Edge from Manchester Piccadilly with 331108. And as this Northern 331 now departs, with the 1447 Northern service to Alderley Edge, I shall catch us when the next train comes. Now passing through is going to be another Northern Class 323 which is forming the 1451 Northern service to Stoke-on-Trent from Manchester Piccadilly. Anyways, 323229. 323229 now passes through with the 1451 Northern service to Stoke-on-Trent from Manchester Piccadilly. And as that heads to his next stop of Stockport, I shall see us all when the next train comes. Now arriving in is going to be the 1452 Northern service to Manchester Piccadilly from Alderley Edge with a class 323 again. This now arrives in with the 1452 Northern service to Manchester Piccadilly from Alderley Edge with a Northern class 323. So then 323225 does the job. And I will catch you when this departs. Now departing is going to be the 1452 Northern service to Manchester Piccadilly from Alderley Edge with 323225. And then also now passing through is going to be a double East Midlands Railway class 158, 158852. And it was actually a single variant for once. Oh my god, it's a single 158. That's so rare round here. It's usually a double 158. But anyways, let's not get too excited. But 158852 now passes through with the 1453 East Midlands Railway service to Norwich from Liverpool Lime Street, and what a surprise, it is a double East Midlands Railway 158. But anyways, as had to his next stop of Stockport, I will catch you when the next train comes. Now passing through is going to be a Trans-Pennine Express class 185, which is forming the 1458 Trans-Pennine Express service to Liverpool Lime Street from Cleethorpes with a double class 185. Anyways, it's special 185111 at the front and 185140 at the rear. And as those two headed 185s head to his next stop at Manchester Piccadilly with the 1458 Trans-Pennine Express service to Liverpool Lime Street from Cleethorpes. Also now passing through is going to be a cross-country Voyager 221113. 221113 does pass through now with the 1459 cross-country service to Manchester Piccadilly from Bournemouth, and as that heads off to his next and final stop at Manchester Piccadilly, I shall see us all for our next and final train of today. Now arriving in is going to be our final train of today, which will be a Northern Class 156, which will form the 1500 Northern service to Buxton from Manchester Piccadilly. This is going to be a doubled up 156 this time. Nice two-tone, and this is the return of 156425 and 156426. And as this now arrives in, I shall see us all when this double Northern 156 departs. Now departing is going to be 156425 and 156426 with the 200 Northern service to Buxton from Manchester Piccadilly. Then also now passing through is going to be an Avanti West Coast Class 390 Pendolino. It is 39151 with the 1501 Avanti West Coast service to London Euston from Manchester Piccadilly. And as those two trains head off to the next stops of Stockport, we shall conclude today's video here at Heaton Chapel. If you did enjoy, like and subscribe as always, as it would mean a lot to me and the channel. And yes, this is a really good station, as it is a fun one to record and a fun one to do. And there is also another Transport for Wales Class 197 down there. I may as well catch this to end off. This is forming the 1503 Transport for Wales service to Manchester Piccadilly from Milford Haven. This is actually going to be a double 197 this time. Anyways, 197047 is at the front. And 197122 is at the rear, with the 1503 Transport for Wales service to Manchester Piccadilly from Milford Haven. And where was I? Yes, if you did enjoy this video, like and subscribe as always, as it would mean a lot to me and the channel. But yes, Heaton Chapel, very fun station, very good revisit, really did enjoy. But yes, as for me, here at Heaton Chapel, I shall see you all in the next video. Peace out.